Welcome back to another edition of the Babz Bye Week Rewind. So thank you for joining in. Second episode. Last time we just talked about the tattoo, going to the season itself, being all over the media, kind of setting the tone. So let's dive into it. Week 1. So with week 1, it was the Patriots versus the Texans, home opener. And every time that the Patriots play the Texans, it's always an ass whooping. You know that this was going to be an easy W, chalk it up. And everyone was getting excited for week 1, including yours truly. I had the biggest smile on my face. I said, let's go. I got the tattoo. I'm ready. I'm excited. Nothing's going to stop me. And then all of a sudden it was game day and I had 102 temperature and I had a sinus infection. So I couldn't even make it to the game. I was distraught, devastated, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, I had to stay home. So right here was my view for the entire week 1. I had Red Zone on the left TV, Patriots on the right. And actually, you already know by listening to this, I've traveled so many times this season, gone to so many games. This is like the original viewing spot for me every single week throughout all the seasons. I love having Red Zone, Patriots together. You have all the NFL jerseys in the background. I'm a big fantasy football guy as well, too. And I actually thought this wasn't even going to happen for week 1. I actually said to GRD and T-Guns, who came over because they knew I was sick and they wanted to watch the games with me, we thought we weren't even going to be able to do this at all this season. And actually, now that week 10's passed and we're in a bye week for week 11, we have never had another week after week 1 where everyone got together to watch Red Zone and the Patriots. So even though I didn't go into the home opener and it sucked. No matter what, no matter which way you look at it, it sucks. The weekend wasn't a wash. So first off, you see this picture here. It's me and Ty Law chilling. This was the first time I met him. This was back in March, back when I was doing the Gronk Spike Challenge. And since then, on a weekly basis, we stay in contact. He's been a great mentor to me, someone that I've looked up to. When the Pats won their first Super Bowl, I was in 5th grade. So I have friends with screen names on AOL, on AIM with Ty Law on it. And it's someone that you grow up watching on TV, just watching every single week. That's an idol. So Ty Law was absolutely awesome to me throughout the entire offseason. So throughout the offseason, I got in contact with not only just Ty, but his business partners through Launch. And I was working with Best Buddies as well, too. And Ty and his family there, they're great. They said, hey, Brian, we'll do anything you want to do. And I said, you know what? I want to have a Best Buddies day at Launch Trampoline Park. Boom, let's make it happen. So throughout the entire summer, I was sending out numerous emails, setting up meetings, and getting two different companies together as one, an organization and a company together as one. And it worked out. And finally, the day before the home opener, we end up having Best Buddies Day at Launch Trampoline Park, Warwick, Rhode Island.
Thank you to Launch for hosting Best Buddies. We're excited to go to the Friendship Walk on October 13th. See you there!
Thank you for hosting the Best Buddies at the Launch event today.
And like I just said a little bit earlier, I had 102 temperature. I had a sinus infection. So when I went to this day, you see me with that smiling face, the tongue's out there. I know some of you hate that tongue out there. Ladies love the tongue. But, you know, I was still sick. I was under the weather. I kind of stayed off to the side that day. I showed up. I stayed off to the side because, you know what? The day was for the kids. And just to see all the smiles and everyone in a great mood, great attitude. It was so well worth it. And pictured right in here as well with the Best Buddies Rhode Island, Best Buddies Massachusetts. Demo Roberts right there below me. He was so awesome. He's an amazing person. I'm glad I met him, and he's the one, actually, the true one that helped set everything up. So I was just so grateful, so humbled, and it made me think that this is something I want to continue doing down the line as well. So the relationship between Best Buddies and Launch, I hope, continues going forward, and it's something I want to keep working on. So although I knew the next day I was not going to the game, this really made the weekend worth it. Then on Monday, the day after the home opener, James White, Sweet Feet himself, was hosting a bowling event, and I actually bought tickets to this last minute. Now, I didn't know I was going to go or not, and again, I was feeling like shit, and it was Monday. I still was sick no matter what, but I said, all right, I got to go to this. I want to be there, and I ended up inviting up my boy Jay Gilly, Justin Gilman, the one that you'll hear later on about the Bears game, losing the tickets, but brought him out there to say, all right, let's have a good time. Let's make the weekend worth it. What I love about going to these events is that's just me right there. I'll wear the eye black. I'll wear we're on the Cincinnati shirt. I'm always wearing the cargos. But I love going to these events because people always dress up like the business casual and whatnot. Me, I just go out there and rock it. So I'm just there to have fun at the end of the day. Right here, actually pictured at the event, is Bella Beach. I love her. She helped raise, I believe, over $2,000 for Best Buddies back when I was doing the Gronk Spike Challenge. This is my first time actually meeting her. She came all the way from Virginia. So it was awesome to see her at the event as well and get to mingle with her. And then at the event, I had Kevin Carlson from Carlson McKenzie come up to me. So he saw the eye black. He saw that we're on a Cincinnati shirt. And at the time, he didn't know about the tattoo before this picture was taken. And he was just figuring, oh, look at this loser. Let me just interview him real quick for a radio show. So he asked me a couple questions about Hublot watches. He was trying to get me caught up on some sort of question and answer. And the interview really didn't go anywhere because I wasn't really going to give it to him and give him like what he wanted to listen to, whatever it was. So before he leaves, I said, hey, do you want to talk about something? Let's talk about this. So I showed him it. And he was like, oh, you're that jackass with the tattoo that everyone's been talking about recently. So he asked me a couple questions and recorded a few things, and he played on the radio the next day. He loved me. Just give him that fun, exciting attitude. That's just who I am. Just fun, exciting, willing to talk to you. Doesn't matter who you are. And because he loved the energy and excitement, he loved the tongue action, he loves the eye black, I found out that he was actually hosting the entire event. So he gets up on stage and he says, hey, we got a special guest over here. We got the Spike King, the guy who had the Super Bowl 53 tattoo. So it led into this video.
He said it right here, Super Bowl 53. He's already got it in ink. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Spike. Thank we appreciate that. Carlson McKenzie here. Welcome, everybody.
So then I got off stage, and I walk up, and everyone's kind of giving me high fives and whatnot. Love that energy, excitement, passion, speech. And you bump into Scott Zolak. So Scott saw the tattoo, and he looked at me, and he thought he saw the devil himself. He hated it. And he says, hey, Bud, that is ballsy. That is really, really ballsy of you to do that. And you could tell like he was seething almost. He just didn't like it. And he actually said, I want you to call in tomorrow to the show. Bertrand Zoe, you know our number. Call in, we'll talk about it. And I said, all right, I'll do that. Honestly, I will never call in the radio shows, really. They control everything. They'll control what you're going to say. They'll control when they're going to cut you off. If you want me to come in, I'll come in person. But I'm not going to do that. I will never call in. But it's kind of funny that he saw it and he like turned ghostly white. He did not like it at all. At the end of the day, the weekend actually didn't turn out that bad. Even though I didn't go to the home opener, we had an amazing time with Best Buddies at Launch Trampoline Park. And the Sweet Feet for Strikes was a great time too. I was very thankful for Kevin Carlson. Got to meet Zoe. Got to meet James White, got to meet a few of the players as well, too, mingle with people. But I knew that after that night to have a little something now, and I'm ready to go for the season. It was like my first public appearance since the tattoo. I knew I was ready to head down to Jacksonville, and let's get this going.